Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. My name is Brenda Unu, and I'm super excited to be here today on today's edition of Women's Matters. And I'm super excited because we have a special edition today and an even more special guest. Hi, Greg by Grace. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Mitope Olorunfemi. I'm super excited to have you guys join us today. And guess what? Today we shall be having our Father's Day special edition. Yes. Sunday was Father's Day, and we know that there's only one Father's Day in the year, unlike Mother's Day, where we have like 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on what part of the world you're in. But our fathers are super special, and we must give them their due. So, guess who my mystery special guest is for today? It is none other than my father, Mr. Cajetan IMOKHAI. Yes, the man that gave birth to me. Yes, so we will be expecting him to join live very soon. And while we are expecting him, thank you. Welcome everyone. Go grab your husbands. Yes. Oh, I can see mommy has joined. Oh, awesome. So now, mommy, what you need to do now is to send me an invite. Request to be in my video. Yes, so we're gonna have fun today, right? First of all, people will have to ask me later how I got my father to agree to be on this live. So it's a super Father's Day edition. Our fathers are super amazing people, and we love them. We want them to know we love them. And our topic today, came from something I was just thinking about the other day, and I was like, oh, father's job really is never done. We always think that it's a mother's job that is never done. A mother mothers to the end. You are doing omugo and all of that. But I mean, I can think of many, things that my father has done, so many times, and I would be like, thank God that I have a father. You see. So yes, we shall be having a request. Just click yes and join us very quickly. So, while we're there, so you guys tell me, how was your Father's Day? What did you do for your special significant other or for your father? If your father is still alive, let us know in the chat. Is your father still alive? If your father is still alive, what did you do for your father? If your father is not alive, what did you do for your children's father? Because, well, all fathers are fathers, yeah? And I mean, I saw this joke the other day. My husband was on that shared it with me. Very funny. He says that Father's Day is is the 20th holiday, as in the ranking of holidays. It's 20th. Guess which is the first? Christmas. And guess what's the second? Mother's Day. So you can imagine it's Christmas, Mother's Day, and then Father's Day, it comes at a distant 21st. I can't even believe that's true. But they said it that. Let's see how we're going to go today. Hi, nurturing the boy child. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay. I have another request. Join. Let me accept it. While you guys come, just tell me if you how was your Father's Day?
Okay. It's not.
There you go.
Not good.
Yay! That is live. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is my father, Mr. Cajetan IMOKHAI. You're highly welcome to our show today. We're super excited to have you join us. And oh my God, I'm sure we have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of questions for you. Just be ready for us. That's how we are here. Welcome again.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay. The chats, you can see the comments are coming up in the chat, and they're saying, welcome, daddy, welcome, daddy. Everybody's super
Thank
excited to have you.
you, everybody.
Yeah, so this is my father, and he's been a father for more than 45 years. That is going to 50 years. This is
network.
Okay. But we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, I didn't hear you earlier.
Okay, I said that you should introduce yourself and just
Oh,
tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's meet you. Yes.
I know. I'm just because her own is stopping. I can't even hear her talk. All right.
Okay.
My name is.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay.
My name is Cajetan IMOKHAI.
Okay.
Um, I'm Brenda's daddy, as she has told you. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God. Okay. Many people always think I'm from Delta States because I'm married to a Delta man. So at least you can tell us that you're not from Delta States.
I'm from Edo State. Oh, no, that is important and it's crucial. But
Exactly.
you are
Exactly.
only by marriage.
Exactly. Exactly. Welcome, Daddy. So we've been talking about Father's Day and how special Father's Day is, and people have been saying we've just been talking about it that we never know how long we have our fathers for, so we must always celebrate them. So Father's Day is a super special occasion, and we're excited to have you here today. So we're just asking. I told them earlier that you've been a father for more than 45 years. So am I correct, or did I miss some years?
Yes, longer than that.
Longer than that. You see? Longer than that. So tell us, I mean, for young fathers nowadays, I mean, think back. If you think back from your own journey, as a father, when your children were really little, and to now
Mm.
when they're all out of the house. I mean, we just wonder, is there really been a change in the fatherhood from when you're actually hands on and to when they're out of the house, or is it just like how is it really? How is it? What can people expect?
Yeah,
Because we have
yeah.
youngsters here and they're thinking, let my child just get to like 18, let me be free. But are you really free?
No, you can never be free. It's just
Okay.
that because fatherhood is okay.
Okay.
What I mean by that is that you decide to marry
Mm-hmm.
and expect that you will have children, which means
Yes.
that you have responsibility to those children.
True.
So you must understand that even before you enter into that union, okay?
True.
So
Yes.
you know that they are going to come. You don't know how many,
Mm-hmm.
but when they come, you know that you will need to cope with them. That's why
True.
this is a great enterprise. You
Okay.
enter it with your two hands open, okay?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I know there are accidental fathers. I mean, that's not what we're talking about.
We're talking of the deliberate ones.
Yes,
Like you entered
we're
with
talking
your
about
eyes open.
the conscious one.
Okay.
So that early when they are little,
Mm-hmm.
you have this feeling of fulfillment
Mm.
as you see them grow, as
Mm.
you nurture
Mm-hmm.
them, and it it increases your self worth
Mm.
actually,
Mm.
because
Right.
the more you see them develop, the more you see them achieve,
Mm-hmm.
it tells you that you have done
You have done
something worthwhile.
something. Right. Right. No matter what
You can
else
be
is
proud
wrong
of
in your
them.
life,
Yes,
you can look at those
whether
children and think,
you know, whether you say it or not, you know that you have achieved something. So
absolutely.
yeah, that is the feeling, and
Mm.
but it changes later
Okay.
because they get to the point when they are old enough
Mm.
and they start leaving the house, leaving you a feeling of
Mm.
emptiness.
Mm.
What they have gone for, you continue to wish them well
Right.
and perhaps advise them, nurture them still, but they
Mm-hmm.
are away from,
True.
and so you have lost their companionship.
Mm.
You know, but you have to cope with that because that is how
It's part
life
of life.
was planned. Yeah, that's how life.
Absolutely.
You can't have them around you forever. So you
Absolutely.
learn to do that, and
Mm.
so that's different feeling that I can account for. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I love what you said there about the fact that, when you first started by saying that, it's a deliberate enterprise. Because the minute you decide to choose a wife and get married, you are expecting to have children. I mean, not
Yes.
everybody that gets married has children, but the Bible assures
Yes.
us that it's a blessing from God, and so when they do come, you know that it's a gift from God, and so you must be ready. You must be
Yes.
ready with everything that they come with, from the sleepless nights to the school fees to the wahala to the everything and everything. It is what it is.
Once in a while, they get ill. You have to run around.
Yes, yes,
All kinds of problems come up, all kinds of challenges. But
absolutely,
you face them. They are there for you to cope with.
absolutely,
So you face them square. It's as simple as that.
absolutely.
Mm.
You're right. I mean, there was something that you were saying when you said, how when they grow up, you start to feel like, you lose their companionship. I know there's a bit of time between when the children are really little and all nice and lovely and all cuddly, and all kissy, kissy, kissy. And then when they get to the stage where maybe there's in between just before they leave the house, when they get to that teenage stage when they are full of wahala. I mean, I'm just wondering, did you ever have that wahala stage? Because we right now are doing Gen Z. It's not very easy. Tell us, how was it in
That,
your time?
that wahala stage that you refer to,
Mm,
it's actually a very pleasant wahala.
okay.
Yes, it's a pleasant wahala because without it,
Mm-hmm.
you do not have the fulfillment of parenting,
True.
because everything cannot just be smooth sailing.
Mm,
In fact, they challenge you. They challenge you with their different, uh, inclinations.
mm,
You begin to see differences in their character.
true.
They are not all the,
Yeah.
you know, but you have to deal with each one of them. You know, so those are challenges that come in, and their idiosyncrasies and
Mm,
all that. You have to be ready to handle all of that. That's why I say it's a pleasant wahala.
it is.
Okay,
Mm,
and the void comes in. The void comes in when that wahala is over,
mm, mm.
because it's when they are really enjoying that wahala that they start leaving
I
you.
know.
Yes.
When you people have gotten to a point where you now understand each other, you're now thinking like, okay, so I can now really chest this thing well. Then they now say, oh, it's time to
One
leave.
by one,
Oh
and you
my
can't hold them back.
no, you can't. So you talked about different characters. I mean, I want to take you up on that a little bit. How many children do you have, and just how different were they? How many boys? How many girls? And just how different are they?
Five in total, one boy and four girls.
Okay. Would you say the girls were easier than the boy? Would you say the boy was easier than the girls? How is it?
No, no. For me, I think I was super lucky.
Okay.
Um, there was no the difference was not between boy and girl.
Okay.
It was between each specific person.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
it didn't matter whether you were a boy or a girl. You have your own way of behavior,
True.
and we had to, relate with you along those lines.
Mm,
Um, I can't say that the boy was more difficult or that the girls were more difficult. No, 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 no.
mm.
I can rate them equally. Mm.
Okay.
Just that they
Yeah,
were different.
they were
Each person,
different.
each person was unique,
Mm.
and you had to understand uniqueness and deal with it in that light.
I mean, I like that you say that because I mean I have many fond memories of my own childhood when I used to say that um I learned my love for books from my dad because literally you had a huge library, always had a lot of books and we're always buying us books. So we learned how to read and all of that. And then we're always reading. In fact, we read so much that even in the school library it was a big problem. Like these people are out reading all the books. I will finish the library in my class and go to the next class. And then when I started to write, I mean, you were there to catalog my writings, file all of my writings. You really, really gave us a lot of encouragement. I mean, I can remember for myself. And I want to ask, what would you say to parents who have children like with various gifts? How do they hone these gifts? How do they harness them? How do they help each child feel individual? Because you just mentioned it now that each of them are different and you have to deal with them differently. So what would you say to parents in a way to encourage their children? I mean, today now I'm an author of like 8 books, and it all started from when I was writing in house and you were filing my books, filing my writing as if it was super important. I don't even think anything I wrote then made sense. But even the fact that you were filing them so seriously made me feel like, oh yes, I was doing something good. So I mean, what would you say to parents, and how should they, help their children when they find even a spark of
Yes,
talent in them?
I would say that I want to take you as a case in
Okay.
point. Let's not talk about the others who are not here.
Okay.
I'll talk about you.
Okay.
Your own uniqueness was by way of reading voraciously. And not only that, you had this gift of writing. I can remember that as early as in primary 2, you already write one place.
True.
And what struck me then was that, first of all, how did you come by writing a one-act play? You know how to differentiate between, quotes and just dialogue. You did all the correct punctuation marks and correct grammar. That was what really struck me. And I knew this is a rare gem. And you cannot kill that gift by saying, no, go and do your schoolwork, this and that. No.
Yeah.
So you were left to roam, more or less.
Right.
And you would not play with other children. When others,
I was quite the Lone Ranger.
you will go to one corner and start writing something. By the time we notice that you are not the rest, where is Brenda? Start looking for you. You find her in one odd corner of the house with a pen and a paper writing. We have a Chino Akebe here. So we kind of encourage that skill. However, by the time you enter secondary school and you took your subjects and you were particularly good in science, okay, I didn't know how to manage this. I actually didn't know how to do it. I knew that if I'm to go by what I know, you probably be in literary arts, But that was not what was showing by your schoolwork.
Right.
Apparently, your school didn't even play any importance to literary work.
I didn't do
And
literature as a subject. I didn't do literature as a subject at all.
So you were excelling in science, and I said, well, if this is what is happening at this stage, let us just and continue in that line, hoping that literary skill is still innate and will come up one day. And lo and behold, here you are.
It did come up.
Years after everybody has forgotten about
I know.
Here you are.
I know. I mean, I was.
So this is why parents should encourage whatever they notice in their children, whatever they can pinpoint as a
natural
something talent they have. Encourage them. That's
Absolutely.
what I would. Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think that was very common for your day. In those were the days where people used to say, "My friend, you go and do your schoolwork. Who is that one playing football there? Come on, go and do your schoolwork. Or what are you doing drawing there? My friend, you go and do your homework." But you were able to see far beyond even that, even in that time. And I think that was really, really very powerful. And thank you so much for it. I mean, look at me today. And people, I mean, I've met people who are just thrilled by the fact that how can you be an architect and a writer? Like, who does that? Like, what kind of rare combination is that? They are just blown away by it. And I think, oh well, I'm all good like that. But they don't know that I have my dad to thank for that. I also want to speak about something. So, I mean, since we've thrown myself out there as the case study, we might as well continue, right? So I want to speak about something about when I eventually wanted to study in the university. I've told this story 1,000 of times, but maybe mommy has not heard it before. She's probably going to hear it today and pull my ears after. But I remember when I wanted to study, I wanted to study architecture, and mommy had said, "No, you're going to study civil engineering." She said engineering was because I could work in an oil company and all of that. So she changed my jam form to engineering, and I was not happy. I said I wanted to do architecture. She was like, I don't know any architect that has money. So I don't know what you're going to do there. You can't go to architecture. And as God would have it, God actually had a hand in the whole thing, because there was ready with, the right grades, the right score in JAM, and the right connections in Uniben, and I still didn't get in. Do you remember that story?
Yes, yes, of course. Yes.
I didn't get in, and it was really shocking to everybody. And something somebody said today made me smile. Somebody shared something with me and said, you need to trust God's plan enough that you are not phased when things don't work out. Do you see?
Yes.
You need to trust God's plan enough that you're not phased when things don't work out. I was going to that
Mhm.
board in Uniben. Every time, first batch, my name was not there. Second batch, my name was not there. Third batch, my name was not there. I was crying and thinking, oh my God, I cannot stay at home after scoring so well in SSC and doing so well in JAM. I can't lose a year. I was so sad. I'm feeling very worried. Alas, God had a plan, you see. When eventually we went to ECOMA to go and look for the same engineering, we now met your friend of blessed memory who suggested to us that, I have
Yes.
architecture paper here. Oh, can I just add her name? And that was how God used not entering Uniben to redirect me to the actual path that He wanted. And I mean, I'm
Yes.
just thankful for the fact that, when He mentioned it that day, you didn't shut him down. And you were like, come on, it's true. This girl has even mentioned this thing before. And that today, here we are, multiple award winning architects. And, God has just been so good. And I know indeed that that was His plan.
Mhm.
Right. So,
Yes.
so now that brings me to the next question. What would you say is the parent's job in guiding a child into the right career? Where does this start and where does it end? And how do you think they should go about it?
Okay. It's like what I did was that I remember clearly that when you were going from SS3 to SS1,
Mm.
your school had the provision that you can choose what course you want to study,
Yes,
and that would then determine what subjects you pick.
true.
At that, I asked all of you, each one of you, when they got to that stage, what do you want to study?
Mm-hmm.
It was not a question of imposing anything on
Mm-hmm.
you. What is your choice? And you said architecture. I remember, but I think it was influenced by Chris's choice of civil engineering,
Mm-hmm.
because you were so close to your brother that whatever you would choose. So anyway, I looked at that. Okay, architecture, civil engineering, what's the difference? I mean, you see all it's all building.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can have it. So from that point, we structured your subjects,
Mm-hmm.
the requirements for
Yeah.
architecture. Luckily, I was working with the career section of a federal government college, Janikin.
Okay.
So I had access to the information of these career choices.
Yes.
And so we structured your subjects clearly to meet the requirements of architecture. Even though we're able to do all the science subjects you did, but we now do in geography,
Yes. And technical drawing.
technical drawing to help you with your choice of architecture.
Mm.
So that was all settled until when it was time to fill the jam forms. Someone mean I came up with this idea. Oh no, it has to be engineering, chemical engineering. But wait a minute, I thought this matter was settled. But anyway, we had our way. You know why? And the applications were put in, and we had all the
Everything.
connections, everything. Anybody
Everything.
could have. Yes, but God had those connections.
Absolutely. That
Waiting for
overrode all of our own.
so as we were getting the list of admissions and time was running out, it was the last batch. I said, wait a minute. If we sit down here and we don't get this thing, what is likely to happen? Miss a year? No way. So I rushed to ECOM, where I had friends. I said, look, gentlemen, what can you do for me? This is where I am. I said, oh yes, architecture. As a matter of fact, I was even looking towards Ife at the time.
Yes,
You
I
know,
remember.
yes, and I met my friend, he's late too, who was the ASU chairman of Uniben. And I said, look, you have the connections with your ASU people. call them and tell them I'm coming around. They say, no, what are you going to Ife for? Go to Epoma. That's best architectural schools we have in this country. Are you serious? He said, yes. What you are going to look for in Sokoto is here in Sokoto. So that very day, I took off for Epom. I met luckily, I had friends there too. And I said, look, this is what I want. It was their last week for processing
admissions. Literally.
Very last week. I think we had only about 3 days left.
Literally.
But we can do it, but it depends on you. If you can go to Uniben and get our scores, they have to officially transfer our scores to.
Something about change of jambo. Have you heard they put it? Change of university.
Change of school or something like that. Because the time was so short that it had to take a miracle to have it done. Well, when you have the will, there's always a way.
True.
I rushed back to Uniben. I had only 1 day left. And I didn't know the people in that section. I didn't know who to. But God came in at that moment. Where I was waiting, lost more or less. This lady was passing. I knew she looked like somebody who has some measure of authority in that department. So I called her, and she answered me, and I said, look, this is what I'm here for. Say, okay, wait for me. Just like that.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
I didn't even know the part of the story before today. She says I'm looking.
She took me in and got somebody to check their books, and they saw your name there, and they copied all the scores and typed the form and gave me. This was about 4 p.m.
Wow.
Only 1 day left.
Wow.
Only 1 day left. Tomorrow.
Wow.
I will rush back to Epoma that night. I said,
wow.
I can't wait the morning, because if I get disappointed, it will be terrible. Rush back that night, and by following morning, I was the first person there.
I mean, it's incredible the kind of sacrifice.
And that was it. So I look back and say, well, looking at the whole exercise, I say God has eventually had his way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So follow into chemical engineering didn't work out.
It was man's idea, not God's. God's idea will always supersede man's. I mean, and that for me, that whole story, that whole process has been a turning point in my life, and I always use it as a beacon point in my life. Anytime I think, maybe even when I was in school and the architecture is hard, I'll just remember that, babe, you didn't choose this thing, okay? God sent you here. There's a reason, and it always helped me to get through everything. So I mean, I'm very grateful for that. Even I'm hearing parts of the story that I didn't even know, all the background work. All I just thought was, I thought the thing finished on SK's table and on Umahia's table that day. Literally,
You went to the visit office.
I didn't even know the rest of the story. Sure, you see how children's matter is. I just went to sleep, and meanwhile, people were running up and down for me. I mean, that's really what we say when we said a father's job is never done. And this is just, us saying thank you to you and using you as a point of contact with all the fathers for everybody on this call, and everybody's going to watch the replay. We really, really appreciate all the tireless sacrifices that are never mentioned, the things that people never get to say thank you for. I mean, it's always out there when we shout, oh, mother is, I mean, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, and I know how it is that we like to carry ourselves on our own head, and we like to be carried on our head. We like to be carried on the head of the world. So I know what it is like, and there are probably many, many thankless moments for a father, but we just want to use this one Father's Day to, appreciate you all. Appreciate you especially, and to everybody. I mean, a lot of extra effort goes to making us who we are. Another thing I wanted to point out, I know I always say this part of the story. I don't know if I say it to you, but I say it to anytime I tell my story, that when I was writing my when I finally finished school, I intended to write my professional exams, and for some weird reason, they told me that I was only one thing or the other, so I was going to be postponed for 2 years. I got angry and I said I wasn't going to do it again. Now, when I didn't do it again, what now happened was I got married. So it was 1 year, there's a baby, next year you're pregnant, next year, there was just one excuse or the other, and I kept on postponing it. But I remember something that was always very constant. Every year, my father would send me a New Year's message and say, Happy New Year. Is this the year where you will get registered? And I used to think, oh my God, leave me alone. But it would come like a clockwork every single year, that reminder. And I knew that I had to do something about it. So when I eventually found a job that I really liked, right? And I had all the qualifications except that. That was when it hits me that, oh my God, this is what you're doing to yourself. And I just made a decision that I have to do this now and get it done. And so after like 10 years of postponing, I eventually sat down and wrote that exam and I passed. And so I'm asking now that, like we say, when your children have left the house, what you need to do for them is a little different. I want to use that as like a case study to ask, how do you guide your children when they have left your house? I mean, some of them are even married, answering another name. What else? What is your level of influence at that point, and how do you wield it as a father?
Your job is not done because they have left your house. You are still their father, right? So whatever dreams you have, which they have not yet accomplished, you must keep pushing them
True.
a way to attain that dream. You do not say, okay, she has married, or he's married now. He has his own children. So what? You are still there. You are still their father.
True.
So if there's something you see which they have not yet achieved, but they are still capable of achieving, of course you keep pushing them
Okay.
and helping them in any way possible to attain that dream. So your job really is never done.
Never done. It's
Yes.
never done.
You must keep your interest and continue to. In fact, there are things which they will do and not even know what the consequences are. You can still add, my friend, this thing you are doing, this way it will lead you, and that way you really want to go. So your job is never done. Right?
True. I mean, I really like that. I mean, I'm just here to tell the parents in the house that you think that those your children are growing up and you're about to be free. You're not really free. Oh. You don't really ever get free. One of my lecturers used to say, once you're on earth, you don't rest until you rest in peace. There's
Yes,
no rest.
that's true. Very true.
We used to look at him
Very
like,
true.
gosh, that's so morbid. But he would say it. He said, there's no rest until you rest in peace. So just forget
It's a
it.
fact. Take it or leave it.
The guy was so funny. Okay, so Daddy, I'm now thinking, what about the period of being a grandfather? Oh no, before we get to grandfather, how does it feel, marrying off your daughters? I mean, we all know how it's the father's job to do, walk down the aisle. How did you feel on the wedding of your first daughter? First one, the first time it ever happened. What was the feeling like? Describe it for us.
It's a deep sense of loss.
Ah, Daddy says lost.
This, it's like,
Oh my God. I didn't expect that.
it's leaving you, and it's like you you see that your control is so much not removed completely. She's now going to another man, who is going to I'm your husband. I decide this, I decide that, and I say no, 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 no. Your parents are outsiders.
I
I
know.
am the man. You see, so you ask yourself, where do you come in?
I know.
But you cannot transfer your daughter to that man to do whatever he likes with. I mean, she's your daughter.
True.
Whatever she does, you still take responsibility for it.
True.
So you have to find a way to 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 get in, to advise, and not be obtrusive, and really, find a way to their lives, and try and give you a little advice here and there, whether it's taken or not. you what you
And
want
sometimes
to
it's not taking.
do.
And many times it's not
Most of
taking.
the time, you want
Oh my goodness. Oh,
to-
no, wow. And here I was really excited. You're going to give me some really romantic gist about, on that day I felt so. Daddy, please give me some romantic gist. Thank you for saying sense of loss. You threw me there.
okay, that is only one side of the story,
Eh,
but
give me the other side.
You know, the razzmatazz about the wedding itself. You know, you being the center stage.
True.
You know, that elates you. Yes. So you are part of that razzmatazz, and so therefore you have that feeling, that elation. You know, oh yeah, my daughter's wedding today.
Yeah.
You know, people look, congratulations and all that. Yes, you have that. You have that. But
Oh my God.
you know,
Oh my days, that's so funny. But yes, thank you so much for that. While I'm thinking of other questions, I want to ask the audience if you have any questions for Daddy, you can type them in the chat, type them in the question box so that we can ask him. We don't want to keep Daddy out too long. People like to gist where, so I don't want people to keep my father out too long. So if you have questions, start asking now. Otherwise, when the time is up like this, we just end this live. Okay, now back to the matter. So when you now start to transit from father to grandfather, I mean, how is it? I used to say to people that my father was never very strict like that too. He never beat us. You never beat us, right? And I recall that. But when you sit down and speak to us, we'd even be crying more than if you beat us. So now I recall one of those days when you had to beat us. I think it was mommy that insisted that you beat us. I think I remember something like that. You now lined all of us up that you're going to beat us today. People of God, my father now carried one ruler. You know those rulers that used to have blade in them when we were young. There used to be this kind of ruler that have blade on the side. We were like, hey, we are finished. We carried our hand on it. We always started crying that it's all over. They want to cut us with blade today. My father just used the flat side of the ruler to beat us like this. One, two. We looked at each other. All of us we now burst into fake cry because it was like, is that all you got? Oh, we gotta cry. So we had to cry. And I was going to say that when parents become grandparents, they become softer. But I just thought about that. I don't think you ever even had. So how will you now be with your grandchildren? It must be completely finished. Please tell us.
well, the issue of grandchildren is completely different from your own
True.
children because of the generational gap. The grandchildren behave differently from your children. So you have to, well, again, you must remember that they are not your primary responsibility. They have a father and mother to report to.
True.
So you have to be careful how you intervene. But it's one of, sweet, there's a very sweet feeling of achievement in having grandchildren. You know, you are content, you are fulfilled, as they come, as each one comes. And of course, you are thrilled to see their misbehaviors and pranks as they run around.
And you're telling
And
your
you
children,
remember that
your children have done it back to you.
that things we did in our own time. They don't know, they think they are smart, but we have already done all of
Yes.
this. And yeah, so that's it. So there's joy in watching them and excitement to see how they turn out. But again, you do not allow discipline. Don't allow discipline to just go to the winds there. Because children are even more stubborn. They are more, they want to do their own thing, individual things. Sometimes what they are doing is completely out of the way, and you need to guide them. You need to guide them. You need to discipline them and make sure, because definitely you know more than they do. Half of what they are doing, they don't even know the consequences.
No, their
That's why you
prefrontal
have
cortex is not yet formed.
yes. So that's it.
Okay, okay. I mean, I like that. I like that you said that. Really, the first thing you should remember is that they are not your primary responsibility. You see, because sometimes that's what really gets in the way. When there's even an in-law situation, somebody comes in and wants to be like, this child, why you not being? You're like, hello, the mother is there, the father is there. So I like that. I like that. Always realizing that okay, I'm here, child. This child should not get spoiled. I will put mouth. I will say something, but always remember that there's a father and mother you can first report to. Okay, somebody has put a question up. Daddy, what would be your advice for young fathers today in terms of being in their children's lives? Oh, I like that question. Yeah. My father was very, very in
Oh,
our
yes.
lives.
It is crucial. It's crucial that you are in your children's lives. Like you try and bond with them. You get back from work. Okay, you stay at work all day, but when you get back, ensure that you have time. Even if it's 30 minutes, that they are with you and they are free to do what they like doing that. Okay, it's important that they are free, not that because you are coming in, you now start, jumping into their shells. No, no, no. They should be happy to welcome you. And once you can achieve that friendship with them and ensure that you guide them properly in their studies, be find time to know what they are doing, their homework, their schoolwork, relate with their school teachers, and find out what they're doing right and what they're not doing right. Uh, be present anytime you are invited for any things in the school and all. Play with them whenever you can, especially like weekend when you are home. If it's boys, then you have a space, you can play ball. If it's whatever game, you do anything, and ensure that you know what their problems are in school and how they are progressing. Even after school, when they now grow up and they've graduated, you still follow up and try and find out what they are doing in life, how you want me to advise. Let them know that they can still talk to you, okay, and that you can offer your advice on any subject. So that's my advice for young fathers of today. Make sure you have time for it.
Thank
It
you.
doesn't have to be so much time, but be consistent.
Quality over
And let them
quantity.
know. Yes.
Quality over quantity. Whatever small time. We know that life is busy. We know that Lagos is tough, it's busy and all of that. But whatever small time you can find, be deliberate about spending with the children. Because the truth of the matter is that many parents just wake up. They want to wake up 50 years after and expect the children to be in their business. They expect children to be ready to gist with you now, and you're like, we never had a relationship. Where's that coming from? You see? But if you had spent time talking to them when they were young, now that you're older and you want to talk to them, they will be happy to because they are continuing what was on.
Yes.
But if you were all busy, work, 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 when you finish work, you go and hang out with the boys. When you finish hanging out with the boys, you go and sleep. They don't see you, they don't know you. Then you now want to now wake up when they are not in their prime, wanting to hang out with their boys. Now say you want to hang out with them. They're like, excuse me, sir, where are you coming from? I know you not.
Where is this leading to?
Where is this coming from? And then you now start to hear things like, oh, it's only their mother they know. That's why they know their mother. Their mother was there for them. So, it's a very strong advice for all fathers to be in your child's lives now, so that when all is said and done, when they're when they have their own families, they want you to be in their lives. It's just a simple formula. Like my father used to make us Saturday breakfast and Sunday dinner every time, every week. I remember very clearly. Saturday breakfast, we would make akara and pap, and my daddy would wash the beans from the start. Sunday dinner was, fried yam and eggs, and he used to fry yam in a certain way that, oh my God, it was not at home. Nobody could fry that yam like that. It was a particular skill, and I thought, oh my God, this is really, really good. My dad was busy; he was going to work, but those two, meals were on him, and we would all look forward to it. So just find something simple that you can institute as a ritual. Even if it's a Saturday night movie or something that you can, do with your children and is regular and constant, and you set it up as a family ritual. That way, yes, that way you can bond with it. That's just my addition to that question. Another question. Please, sir, what advice do you have for parents-in-laws in terms of managing a relationship with them, especially when they know they aren't related biologically?
That's a tricky one. Um, I think it's the question of is still this issue of showing them love. Love can be shown in different ways. Everything said so far about being there for your children, it's all a show of love. When you are not their biological parent, then you require a little bit extra
love.
Yeah, know that it's already a deficiency which you must breach. Be a little bit more careful. And once it will get to the point when they can now get to trust you. Once you have it.
Right.
They'll be there for you and you'll be there for them.
Right. I mean, I completely agree. I completely agree. I know how it is, but we always have this. People always talk about this in-laws matter, and I always tell people that, okay, the way that I have done it, and which I continue to tell people, is to just treat everybody with love. You know, there's sometimes when somebody is doing something like my in-law did this, my in-law, and I'm not asking yourself that if your brother or sister did the same thing, would you really be this upset? You know, so always run every thought and reaction of yours through the eye of that. You know, if this was my father that did this to me, would I be this upset? If it's my mother, you know, my mother has her own near body. So anytime that my mother-in-law wants to do something, I just remember that if it's my own mother, then she can even do more than this to me. So I can't even be offended. Do you see? I would just laugh it off. And people will never understand why I could laugh it off. Like, my mother's one is bigger than this. Don't worry. There's nothing you can do. Even the next years to come that will annoy me more. Don't worry. You have forgiveness in advance. I love my mother to death. I tell you what, you know, she has her own days, right? So, and that's just the truth. So if we tell ourselves the truth like that, my sister can be in my house and be lazy sometimes. So if my sister-in-law comes and is not lazy to carry her plates, should I now throw the whole world down? Yes, knowing that my sister too can be like that sometimes. Do you see? So it's just seeing them as your own family and extending the same grace. Somehow you now get above all this matter of who is really related to you and who is not related to you. Because once you've chosen, like Daddy said, it's a deliberate decision to marry. You have to now take with it everything that comes along. Yeah, children, in-laws, all inclusive. It's a deliberate decision.
You know they are there. They are part of the
It's part
package.
of the equation. Oh. You can't throw them away. Oh, Casa de Neta, that's Tonia, by the way, Daddy. She says, I remember Daddy's special beans that he makes with granite oil. I remember. Oh my God, it's been such an
That's when
amazing conversation.
that's on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, Saturday morning. So when it's not Akara, it's that beans. But you know, it was always something like that every Saturday morning. Amazing. I can never forget those things. And it was just really this. It's really about the simple things, which is what I tell people. Just create the family traditions in the simple things. Don't make it too complex. It doesn't have to be something complex like summer vacation. Like you save money for the whole year for. No, it doesn't have to be that complex. Really, it's in the simple things. It's in the simple things. Create the bonding in the simple things, and the children will always remember. Right. We've done
Yes.
almost an hour. When I was telling you that we were going to do an hour, you're looking at me like it's not possible. See now.
1 hour was like ages to me. I'm
see,
surprised.
see now, it's almost an hour. I told you. But anyway, it's been an amazing, amazing conversation with you today. Amazing conversation for everybody who joined. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two from our conversation today. And if you have any more questions, nice time to type it. If you don't have any more questions, nice time to tell Daddy thank you for being here. I mean, I think it's Daddy's first Instagram live, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. And he did beautifully. What do you guys think? Please send him some love in the comments. Let him know how well he did so that, you know, thank you. Yeah, Olufika says, thank you for the pearls of wisdom, sir. Thank you, Daddy.
It's a good thing. It's a good being here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and it was such an impromptu thing, you know. I'd initially decided to, I decided to have a Father's Day special today, right? But I didn't remember that today was Tuesday. So I went to the hospital, came out like, hey, God, I have a life. And I said, Daddy, you are the guest for today. and he graciously agreed. I mean, and look at Daddy doing amazing on his first Instagram live. Please give him so much love. So Grab by Grace says, thank you so much, Daddy, for honoring us with your presence. Star Life Center
Thank you.
says, thank you, Daddy. It was really great listening to you. So
Thank
thank
you.
you from all of us. This live comes every Tuesday. We hold it every Tuesday. It's called Women's Matters. We hold it every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and we discuss different things that concern women and concern our lives and just to make us better. Even things that people don't like to discuss is what we try to discuss here. And today we're giving this week's edition, as our Father's Day special in honor of the amazing men that birthed us and the amazing men that are joining us to partner to birth our children. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and to you, Daddy. It was an interesting session, really inspiring. Thank you, sir, and God bless you. We look forward to seeing you again. Yeah, Starlight, Daddy's
Thank you.
rescue. Absolutely. Thank you, Daddy, for coming. I'm so happy. Daddy, you did
Thank
great.
you.
So everybody has said you did great.
For
Thank
all
you,
the
ladies, for the
comments and
love.
every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daddy. I mean, thank you also for coming to my rescue. My lastminute.com behavior. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. See you again, same time next week. From all of us at the Women's Growth Academy, thank you and God bless. Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you, Daddy. I didn't expect anything less. Thank you, Ify.